All right. Assalamualaikum. Good evening. Thank you for coming, Aisha. Let's start. It's 8:02. We'll just start, and whoever comes later, we can just continue on from there. So, a few things to gloss over through as usual. To rename yourself and to prepare pen and paper to write notes. If there's something that you want to write notes on, and I have put in the chat a little question. So I'm planning to travel this year now that I think the last few of the countries, especially China now, so opening borders. Is anyone planning to travel? And if you plan to travel, where do you plan to travel to? Guys can share in the chat if you want to. So welcome to Global Teacher Conversation. This is our 9th session, a little bit of Zoom norms. You can mute when you're not speaking. As if it's possible, be present, so switch on your video. If it's not possible, if you're on the road or you have connection challenges, you can switch off your videos. Participate actively, don't be shy, and I do want to remind ourselves of our GTC pillar principles. We have 3 of them. So number 1 is be respectful. That is showed by being mindful of how we speak, how we behave towards each other, and how we communicate with each other. We also want to be supportive of one another by giving the space and time for our partners. We come from different backgrounds, we come from different abilities and different fluencies, and also different competencies, right? So let's be understanding and be supportive of each other. Of course, we want everyone to be participative. How you can do so is by showing interest, ask questions, and also answer questions when you have them. Right. Here is the agenda for session tonight. It's session 9, a little bit of a plenary activity, and then we go through topic introduction and reflection. We have a breakout session, and then we have a little bit of reflection after breakout 1, and then we have a breakout 2 where we will share our classroom stories, and then we do a little bit reflection, some announcement, and we do closing. So I understand that today might not be really ideal to have a session, especially it's the eve of Chinese New Year where everyone either going back, traveling to go back to their hometowns and families, or already with their families. However, I have this recorded so members can watch it again when they mistake. Okay. So last session, in session 8, we talked a little bit about how Jinsan's classroom, and suddenly Jinsan have to, how to say this, witness a fight, not really a fight, more like an argument between his students, right? So the students, they were fighting or arguing about classroom deliverables, but during the argument, not so nice words were thrown out, and things almost got physical. So I think as much as what Jinsan has experienced, I think a lot of us also has experienced similar, if not the same thing, right? So have you encountered a crisis in the classroom before? Have you witnessed your students fighting or arguing, whether it's verbally fighting or is it a physical fighting? What do you do? Right? So Aisha, you can type in the chat if you can.
Hi, I think
Or
there's two of us.
it's okay, it's okay. Sometimes they come in a little bit late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have a story to tell, Aisha?
Okay. I did encounter some crisis in the classroom. The one that I want to share is that, you know, sometimes when we are giving activity or tasks for our students, they rather like to listen to what we are saying instead of reading what we have been giving. In the sense that when I give them the comprehension question, for example, or instruction on the paper, they will, you know, like ask me, teacher, what to do instead of reading the task. So I think that is very frustrating.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
Do you have any story in terms of how they socially communicate with each other? Have they been, is there like a crisis in terms of how they communicate and how to say this, how they interact, how they interact with each other, or how they interact with you instead? Do you have stories like that?
All right, hello.
Yes. Hi, Aisha.
Okay, sorry. There was a call. All right.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm using my phone.
It's okay. Right. So have you got did you catch the question that I asked you just now?
No, sorry. You please repeat for me, Atika.
Sure, no problem. So have you encountered a crisis, more like a social interpersonal crisis, like if the students are fight in the classroom, fight with each other, or maybe students are not communicating well with you?
Usually with the teachers, you know, they will still respect us and communicate appropriately. But when
Yeah.
we are, you know, visiting from one group to one group, we can hear them, not to say quarreling, but you know, they will discuss things, but it's quite unpolite or more towards friends to friends, and they will change their communication style when they communicate with me, so they will still respect you as a teacher.
All right. So there's no like emergency situation that you have witnessed or you have encounter, like suddenly the kids crying, or suddenly the kids are fighting, suddenly the kids were arguing with each other. No, not.
Oh no, because I'm teaching you know, from 5 from 6, so they're adult
There,
learners.
yeah, I see,
Yeah, so
I
no
see.
fighting, no screaming. No, not at all.
I see. Your students must be very, very good kids then.
Not to say goods, but you know, adult learners, they're different with young
Yeah.
children. Yeah.
Right. Welcome, Fadli. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Hello.
Hello.
Good.
Are you also on the road? That's why you're not on video?
No. I'm trying to adjust the camera. I did not know how. I always forgot how to do this one.
You can try again, because we got your audio on. Okay. You can just share your stories. Have you encountered a crisis in the classroom? Like example of a crisis, like have you witnessed, or while you're tweaking your video setting, maybe you can just share with us example of crisis, like what we talked about in the last session. Have you witnessed or have you encountered students fighting in your class among each other, or arguing, or suddenly kids crying? I don't know, maybe throwing tantrums. Have you
Yeah,
encountered some?
me think. Not in my class, but in the school, perhaps. I think.
Tell us what happened.
Um, Wait, okay, last week we had this is between classes actually. Is my English teacher were busy with the speaking test. So the neighboring class next door actually there was supposed to be a teacher, and in between exchanging the teachers between subjects, this Indian, I know this Malay student, I think this Malay student who started it first actually wanted to get his paper or something. And then he found out the paper was actually in this one of these Indian students. So actually he didn't know as well that the paper was put by somebody else. So and then they went to a fight, and then the fight broke out and everything. So and then the Indian student was hit quite harshly. Yeah, I mean there was a bleeding as well. The blood came out from the nose, and then we went to the no, my friend. I was the guru bertugas, the one in charge for that week. So because of this fighting, and then so the student was sent to the clinic, neighboring clinic. So I asked my friend, an Indian teacher, to help with the sending and everything.
Right.
Upon arrival at the clinic, we were asked to ask we asked the doctor to check actually the MA, I suppose. So by then that was around almost 1 o'clock, or maybe in the afternoon. And then the MA decided not to treat, and he said that this is not an emergency case. And we were saying it's bleeding. I mean, come on, look at the kid. It's underage, right? No, but and then he said, "Now you have to wait until 2." And then we were really surprised. Yes, imagine that we with that kind of answer. And then my friend said to the MA, takkan nak tunggu sampai mati kot.
Right.
And he still firm. It was really firm with the decision to wait until 2. And we couldn't do anything. We had to wait. And then the father came, the Indian boy. The father came and he checked upon his boy, and then he decided to launch a police report. So that afternoon, the police came. We waited for the police to come, and the parents from the Malay kid as well to come, and they had this kind of a serious discussion regarding what happened in the class and what is going to be what was the follow-up and everything. It was a misunderstanding actually because of the stupid paper.
Such a small thing just snowball into a very big serious thing.
And it was there was a case as well in the same class as well. Between teacher, my friend, maths teacher as well, he went out for a while to the loo. And upon leaving, there was a fight between Chinese and the Malay as well in the class. So the mirror in the class broke.
Right.
We all have all these special cases with all the blood and everything. Every single year.
Right. How old are your students again?
17.
17, Form 5. So this is different Form 5, different 17-year-old from Aisha's student. I see.
Yes. We got so many cases as well, the crisis as well, and pregnancy and everything as well. Really fun fight.
All right. Okay. Hayati, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back. I haven't seen you for so long. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Good. Fadli, you have to set your video. We feel like listening to it in a radio announcer. We really need to see your face if that's possible. Maybe you can try.
I go out first and I'll try.
Right,
try again. Okay.
Sure. Yeti, we're having a story dunk activity now. So last session we talked about Jinsan's story. So Jinsan classroom story was about there were groups of students, and the groups were preparing for presentation, if I'm not mistaken. Aisha, hi. So while preparing and discussing and brainstorming, the Jinsan student fight. It's an argument actually. So it's a verbal fight. that escalated into like a very heated yelling kind of fight. So so Jinsan mentioned that I was so lost, I did not know what to do, right? And we thought, and I also thought, well, I have experienced the same thing, almost similar thing while I was at school last time. There I also witnessed, and I was also in the area while two of my students were girls who were just yelling at each other, fighting, right? And one of them was crying, like one of them was like, why do you cry, why are you things, just saying really not good thing. So we were talking about, then if this happens, like if this crisis were suddenly happen in front of you, like what will you do? So this week we're going to talk about it. So Yeti, have you encountered a crisis in the classroom? I know your students are quite the mature students, but have they fight in the classroom? Have they quarrel, or maybe getting into a verbal argument with each other? Anything? Have you encountered, or maybe have you witnessed a crisis in the classroom? And if yes, maybe you can tell us what happened.
Actually, 14 years in education, I have faced a lot of crises between the students. But actually, when it happened, I always use psychology.
What psychology was that?
Before we starting the class, I just saying the student background was what we call is they come from the background, the different background. Everyone has their own problems. So I have my problems too.
Right, of course.
Okay. So I make they realize what happened if in front of me actually have 30 students. So when all the students want to do what they want, what happened to me? I am the teacher right now. Right. Or in front of them. So before started the class, I always remind them about our vision. When I always tell them it's easier for them 30% to listen to me, a teacher, and it's very hard for me to listen to all students, 30 students. Even the student in front of me, the same years, they have their own problem.
Right.
So when there is something problem in the class, actually I don't face any student that yelling in the class actually, because I always remind them before the class.
Right. Okay.
So I make it. They have to realize why they come here, why they come to college vocational.
Right.
If they are the good student in academic, they don't come to KV actually. So I speak in different to I want to make they realize what happened in front of them. They have no choice. They have to do that thing. They have to do to be in the class, right, between the student, between the friends. So what I always remind is it's easier for me. It's easier to make sure the class is happening if 1% of them is listening to 1%.
Right.
I think that's all.
Thank you,
After
thank
long,
you.
I didn't make this session, so I need to susun. I need to.
It's okay, it's okay. No problem. You're doing great. You're doing great. Don't worry. Hi, and welcome.
Hi. Sorry, I just came back from church.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Welcome, welcome. So, so I saw Fadli putting in the chat. In the past, it worked. Maybe this is something that you want to elaborate later when we have a breakout room, Fadli. This is very good stories. Like what Yati had done doesn't work anymore for you. Maybe you can like elaborate why. Also, we see differences between 17-year-old students at Aisha schools are way different than Fadli's 17-year-olds at school. Remember, we talked about crisis last session. Let's do a story dump here. Everyone has sort of dumped their stories. It's your turn to dump your stories. Have you encountered a crisis in the classroom? Have you had your students
Okay,
fighting
crisis.
or quarreling or throwing tantrums in
Okay.
the classroom?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, hello. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, Anne.
Oh,
Go ahead, go
hi.
ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Sorry.
we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. It actually happened somewhere last year or the year before. I can't remember. Students, because I'm teaching in a primary school, so sometimes they can actually get mischief, at times. So when the teacher was not in class, because sometimes when the change of teachers, so there is a gap in between. So sometimes we are not aware. Sometimes we are carried away with the class before that, and sometimes actually is to be honest, we actually cannot be late entering classes. So apparently when this happened, when there was change of teachers, the students actually had a fight. And this happened with the students of year 3. And that boy, he's famous for being a rowdy actually.
Right.
So every time he's always been noted with by all of us. So have to take always have to be careful with this particular boy. He can actually be very throw his tantrum everywhere and every time, and he don't care. Whenever even teachers are in class also, he can start something. So one day what happened, he can actually, the leg went up, I don't know, to the other student's face, and it was like, it was a casualty. Oh my God.
Wow.
That was one. And not only that, he wanted to try his stance. I think, I don't know what actually happened, whether this boy went and hit the window panes, the glass broke. So that's where I don't know how it did happen, but the other boy was bleeding.
Right.
Here, the face part. So parents. So sometimes things like this happen. They intervene and things happen differently. That we did not realize. Things like this, and then all other things comes in, like why the teacher is late and all this, and then SOP blah 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 and things like that.
Right.
So that's why after that incident, we are very careful. We are very careful in, especially when there is, these gaps. So now after that incident, actually the security guard actually, sometimes I myself, because I'm an art teacher as well, so sometimes I can be carried away with all the, you have to wash up all the things, clean up and everything, the mess and the paint and everything. So luckily the security guard, he sits in the class. Sometimes he will be sitting outside the class and he will help and he will try to, help. He'll try to just just be patrolling there to see whether there is any kids going out of class and doing, this kind of things. So that's why, because I mean, if it's not so serious, it's okay. Can just somehow we can settle it. But when there is a casualty, that's where all of us, including the school, and then parents comes in, and that's where mess takes place.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes, we ourselves lah. Sometimes, I mean, my head of department. I mean, my head of my head mistress. She's very understanding. She makes sure she don't let us down, even though, in front of parents, so somehow I'm blessed to have a leader like her. So she never let us down, even she'll still stand for us. Yeah, but at the back of the screen, then we will get some pep talks.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the incident.
I'm glad that your headmistress had the teachers back, at least in front of the parents, at least in front of externals, right? Because it's very, very important to make sure that whoever working with you, especially team members, are protected, feel safe, and they feel, my manager knows and trusts me in what I do. Of course, there still needs to be, of course, like you said, there still need to be the talk after, but at least you save face with the people at the outside, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your stories. It's really nice to hear all this different experience, Yati's experience, Aisha's, Fadli's, and Fadli, I think he's trying to figure out his video. I think he want to show. He's really disappointed that he cannot open his video because he want to show his red shirt. I think I see you also wearing red, and I'm also wearing red because Fadli suggested it. All right, it's a
Finally.
yay! We all were just talking about you, Fadli, that you're very adamant to have your face shown on the video to show off your red shirt. Very good. All right.
Yeah.
Now that we have some story dump, this kind of activities you can also try out with your kids, or you can try with your team members, you can try with other teachers, like just sort of trench out stories before you go into like sort of like a set inductee, if you want to call it, because we will be talking about crisis management. So let's hear stories, let's hear experiences about crisis in the classroom first, right? So you can try this activities with your friends, with your clique, or even with your family later. Some people do story dump by writing. Some people do story dump by verbal storytelling, like what we do right now. Right? In fact, we story dump every day, right? But we just don't coin it as story dump. So you can try it next time. Right, let's look into crisis management. I want all of you to write in the chat, what does this person needs just by looking at the photo that I'm going to show you. Okay. Right. What does this person needs? What do you think? Fadli said the shopping therapy. Okay. What about Yati and Aisha? You can choose not to write in the chat. You can just say out your answer if you find writing in the chat is a little bit difficult for you. Oh, Yati said she needs to meet friends. Aisha cannot see.
She's running for her life.
Because she's running for her life. What does she need?
A place to, a shelter, perhaps a place to hide.
A place to hide. Let's see. Okay.
Because she looks a bit like furious or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Right, Aisha, can you see my screen and see the photo? Oh no. No, you need, I think because you're using phone and you need to swipe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see the screen now, Aisha?
You can see the gallery view.
Yeah, she can see now. All right, Aisha, what do you think this person needs? Yati meet friends. Okay. I'm not sure. I don't know whether she's running or not, Aisha. You tell me just by looking at this photo, what does this person need? Let's wait for Aisha to input her thought. You ready, Aisha? Okay. You can put in the chat, yeah? I'm going to show you. I don't know whether she's scared or whether she's angry. But just by looking at the photo, what do you think this person needs? Right. You can put in the chat, yeah? Aisha, I'm going to show all of you the second photo. Right. Now you see her. You see almost half of the photo now. So, what does this person need? You can put in the chat, or you can speak into your audio. No, don't think too much, yeah, Aisha. Just look at the photo, or she's running with her, I think, milkshake, maybe. So what does she need? What do you guys think? Yati and Fadli? What is it that she needs? Just give very quick answer. When you see this in the first instance, what do you think this person needs?
She needs money to pay that. Oh my God.
She needs money. Okay. She needs to catch the bus because running late for her boss's errand. Okay, Fadli.
Possible, yeah.
Yati?
Yeah, I think yeah, it could be possible. She's late for she's late for after lunch.
Okay. Yati, what about you? Aisha, what about you? When you see this photo, right? When you see this picture, what does she need? Hi, Shiva. Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm so
Hey.
sorry. I have missed a lot of your sessions and I'm really missing GTC. So I have like canceled my all appointments today to
Wow.
join this session.
Thank you, Shiva. Okay,
Wow, nice.
right. So we're talking this session we'll be talking about crisis management. But before that, I was just asking, what does this person need? Just can you put in the chat what do you think this person needs just by looking at this photo alone? So we're on the second photo now. So Yati, instead of telling me what she needs, she's asking, is she running from something? I don't know. Aisha mentioned, oh, she needs to be fast. What does she need? She needs to be fast. She's going somewhere. Fadli said, oh, she's late for the bus, so she needs to catch a bus. Shiba, what do you think this person needs?
Okay, what does this person needs? For both pictures or just for one specific picture?
The second picture, the one with the drink in her hand.
Chicken drink in her hand.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, she is running. Why she's running with the drink, man?
This is why it is harder for me
Uh,
to run session for adults rather than run session for kids, because I ask you one question and you guys ask me a lot of different questions instead of answering the question.
Actually, we are not that smarter like kids, so we have got to ask a lot of questions. So, you know,
Instead of answering question, you ask me on my question instead. Okay. What does
we
this
think that-
person need?
so we think that you probably answered this question and you're, counter questions. So I think she needs, what does she needs? She needs a restaurant. She might have to catch a bus. So maybe she needs a bus.
She needs a bus. Okay, that's Fadli's answer. Yeah, okay. All right.
Wow.
Aisha said she needs to go to the toilet. Okay, maybe. All right. Okay. I have given you 1/3 of the photo. You gave me different answers. And now I have exposed to you half of the photo and you guys give me different answers. Now, let's look at the full photos and you tell me, what does this person needs? Oh. So what does this person needs now?
I was right. Actually, she needs to catch a bus to run away,
To run away. Oh, she needs to run away. Fadli, Aisha, and Yati, what does this person need?
She needs to hide somewhere.
Oh, she needs to hide. Okay, Yati, Aisha, Fadli, what do you guys say?
You need to run faster than zombie. Is it a zombie?
Yeah, it's a zombie. Oh, so she needs to run faster. Okay. Oh, she needs to save herself, Aisha mentioned. Fadli.
Well, she still need to save the milkshake actually.
She still needs to save the milkshake. Okay.
So the zombie wants to steal the milkshake in a way.
All right. Okay. So my question is just a metaphor of how we approach crisis in the classroom, actually. When we see students quarreling, when we have students who are fighting in the classroom, when we have students suddenly throwing tantrums, right? For example, a lot of the time, the kind of actions or the kind of measures that we take are based on very little that we see. For example, we take action based on the 1/3 of the photo that we see instead of the whole picture. So I want us to reflect our action. And most importantly, first seek to understand the whole situation, then take action. For some students, right, when they fight in the class or when they show tantrums in the classroom, Of course, we coin this as disruptive behavior. Sometimes we just say, oh, this kid is a problematic kid, and that's it. Oh, this kid is fighting with one another. I send you to the principal's office. I send you to the discipline teacher's office, and that's it, right? A lot of the time we're missing the whole picture of why this kid behave the way they behave. Was there a conflict between this student A and student B that already happened before they fight, like the milkshake? Or was there a problem in the household, like the zombie at the back, right? So we need to understand the whole picture, look at the whole picture first before we decide, what are the best measures for us to take, right? So let's just park this at the back of our head and move on. So, managing crisis, right? Especially managing students' crisis, like students fighting or students having crisis with each other, or students showing unwanted behavior, right? There are phases in which you take action. The first photo here you see is a very serene, very peaceful lake, right? Imagine that all of your students are actually swimming in this lake right now. This lake looks very safe, right? So you just let them play in the lake. And then you see one or two students get trapped in the next rapid or river. So you see, there's one student getting trapped in the rapid river going fast, and you swim, and you get one, and you get one out, right? And then as you get one out, you see another student gets trapped in the rapid river. So you go through the current in the river and you save another one and you take another one back. That's two, right? While you were saving two, you see another 3 and 4 students. You tried to save everyone, but you couldn't. Right? We are just human. So we have limited ability. Sometimes we have limited strength. We have limited stamina to try and save everyone. While we try to save everyone, and some of the students who get trapped in the rapid river, some of them will fall down a very dangerous waterfall. So imagine these are the phases in crisis management, right? So you can give attention to everybody in the calm pond where it's safe for everyone. You can only save 3 to 4 or a few, depending on your ability, depending on your competency, depending on your stamina, right? Your strength in the river. But of course, a lot of us try. But you definitely cannot save the ones that already going off the cliff. So the equivalent to the story is your students, when they're not fighting, when they're not in crisis, are like when they're in the pond. When they're about to fight, right? When they have what we say beef with their friends, right? That's when they about to show that crisis gonna happen. That's where the river is. But when they already fight, when verbal fighting becomes physical fighting, and like Anne mentioned and Fadli mentioned, when verbal fighting turns into assault, right? And that assault snowball into hospital visit, snowballs into parents coming and demanding to know what the teachers are doing while my kids are like kicking each other's butt, right? So things that we can control in the pond, you can no longer control when it becomes a scary and downwinding waterfall, right? So at what stage should you actually take action? And what stage usually we take action? I want you to think about, this is not something that we have to discuss. Just think about prevention versus intervention. We always, especially, I'm not sure in the context of Pakistan, Shiba, maybe you can share, but in the context of Malaysia, I can share, we always use the word intervention or intervention, right? So intervention is when something has already happened and we put a measure into it. We you guys members from Malaysia, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I have not heard yet prevention plan, or maybe it's not called prevention plan. Okay, but we have always come across the term intervention or intervention, right? So Shiva, what about Pakistan? Is there more prevention method or measures or intervention that is highlighted to teachers?
All right. In Pakistan, I think it's a mixture of both. Somewhere it is prevention, somewhere it's intervention. Sometimes it's maybe mixture of both. So as far as we are discussing school things, right? So for that, for students, most of the time, recently I've got a case in my classroom that that has to be like prevented, but it wasn't by class teacher. So at that time I had to intervene in that, and I had to resolve the conflict at that time. So for these things, I think sometimes we just wait for the things to get right by themselves, but we don't do things for the prevention. So at that time, then when things are not in our limits or not in our boundaries, so that we just wait and for someone to intervene. So I think it's a mixture of both in our culture in Pakistan,
Right,
specifically.
right. Thank you, Shiva. I want to get your attention, like everyone, including myself, to think about whether something behavioral like crisis in the classroom, fighting with each other, something social, something interpersonal, something behavior, is it okay to just leave it to intervention, or is this actually something we can actually prevent? Right? Just think of this at the back of your head. No need to say anything now. For me, like understanding stories and understanding how communicating with other people, living together with other people is a form of practice. The more you practice what is correct and what is ethical or what is moral with each other, the more you can have a better relationship with other people, right? So, and this falls under prevention. You can prevent fighting with each other if you know how to talk with each other the way you're supposed to be talking to each other, and you practice the right way of talking to each other, rather than, oh, I fight first, then my teacher will come to our rescue, right? So just think of this, right? And I want to bring you guys back to the point where I asked you about this. What does this person needs, right? So now we're talking about not wanting to let our students get drifted by the rapid river and fall down the waterfall. I want to ask you guys one question. You can either unmute your mic and answer, or you can type in the chat, yeah? My question is, if you can suggest one, I say one, yeah? One. I need to repeat this again. one skill so that your student can have a successful and happy life. What skill is that?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay. What would you suggest one skill for your student to have a successful and happy life? Right? You guys can type in the chat or you guys can unmute your mic and answer. There's one on top of your head. There's no right or wrong answer. Don't be so afraid to answer. It's not an ultimate skill. That's one of the many skills. What is one skill that the students need to have successful and happy life?
Can I go first?
Sure, Shiba. Go ahead.
For me, as I'm teaching 9th and graders and teenager girls, so to deal with them and why they are stressed out, because this is the age where you just can't share things with the teachers, but with the one who you feel like he or she is your friend. Okay. So most of the time, I feel like my students are really depressed and they are not performing the way they should perform. So I feel like there's a communication gap between the students and teachers or maybe parents. So this could be the one key skill or one key habit that can develop for the happy or maybe peaceful life, that they should communicate what they are feeling and they should have enough space that should be created by the person in front of them, that could be parent or that could be teacher, that could be a friend, so that they can trust the person and they can have like a safe space to share what they are actually feeling. So I believe the communication between the students and the teachers, or might be parents or the friends, but I think because we are going to interact with the kids for like 6 to 7 hours a day, so the communication gap should be lessened and should be reduced. So I think because I had a lot of cases in my classrooms where my students were underperforming, when I had one-on-one sessions with them and have got communication skills. So I got to know that why my students are underperforming, why they are getting late daily on a very daily basis, why they are taking off on routine days, why their attendance is not that good that should be for board classes. So when I got one-on-one session with them and then they felt comfortable with me, they trusted me because I created that space for them. So I can feel that now whatever the issue they are facing in their lives, they can easily communicate me. They just WhatsApp things with me, they share ideas with me, even the very personal. I think when you are sharing your personal things with someone, that's a very great achievement for you, because they are telling you about the circumstances they are facing with their parents or with their friends, even cases of harassment and cases of abuse. So at that point, when you are creating the space for them, and they are like they know that they have a person in their lives, they can actually listen to them. If you are not resolving the issues, but at least you are having someone that can listen to you, that's a big thing in your life. So I think my students are now more peaceful and more relaxed and more happy than before. The reason why we are creating the space for them to speak up, to share their ideas and discuss whatever is happening in their life. So communication from my side.
Right. Thank you, Shiva. Right. To summarize that briefly, Shiva mentioned skill set is important for students to have a successful and happy life is communication skill. Okay, what about the others? What about Fadli and Aisha, Yati? You can just name the skill. You don't have to elaborate. Yes, Yati. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In my opinion, actually, whenever I make observation to my students,
Mhm.
I think they need to learn how to make self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Yes.
Right.
So my student is 16 to 19 years.
Mhm.
They need to know how to make decision. So they have to know the skill of self-reflection,
Mhm.
such as one of the problem that my student face is, like Shiba said, it's communication.
Mhm.
So they actually lack of skill of communication with same level, same years,
Mhm.
or communication with the teachers. So that I have faced last week. The student not from my class actually. They are from the other class. So I meet him with between the technology club
Right.
actually. So they have she it's not she, it's he. Sorry. He asking me how to overcome the problem when all the friends, his friend, using him to make a presentation,
Right.
because he is making the presentation is very fluently, very synchronized, all the stories. So what I say to him is he should make self-reflection. So
Right.
that's all, I think.
Thank you, Yati. All right, I want to hear one more. What kind of skill you think your student need to have a successful and happy life? And Aisha, Fadli? Personality, positive attitude. Positive attitude, Aisha mentioned. All right, okay. So, to summarize, Shiba mentioned communication skills. And then Yati mentioned about reflection skills. And Aisha mentioned about having a positive attitude. That's a personality based skills. Hearing these three skills, right? Do you realize none of the skills that you guys mentioned actually comes from learning at schools, like learning how to add, learning how to subtract, or learning how to do coding in schools? No, right? What you guys mentioned fall under the EQ part, the emotional quotient part, emotional intelligence part, right? And a lot of us also, like you mentioned earlier, and you feel safer when your headmistress knows how to handle parent-teacher situation, right? Let me see. Yes, soft skills. Soft skills, hard skills is important to have a successful life, but to have a successful and happy life, you need to have soft skills. You need to have emotional intelligence. And this is the key things that I want to highlight, especially in crisis management. Remember when we say, oh, we want to focus on prevention instead of the intervention. We want to focus on helping the student at the pond rather than trying to help students at the waterfall, and you cannot save them anyway, right? So this brings us to social emotional learning. Okay. Has any one of you this thing, or this is the first time I heard of social emotional learning, SEL? Or how many of you raise your hand if you have heard of social emotional learning before? Right. Shiva said yes. Yati, Badly, and just not. Okay. I like our session because no matter what instruction I give you guys, you create your own instruction. I told you to raise your hand, you nod your head. Okay, it's okay. All right. Okay, cool. Right. All right. Okay. I will give you like a brief introduction to what social emotional learning is, or SEL. I'm going to shorten it to SEL. I'm not trying to teach any of you or any of us about SEL. This is like a, how to say, like a door to SEL. So we can all find out about SEL later and how SEL can actually help us in the classroom. There are 5 core competencies when it comes to social emotional learning. If you see that, there's self-management, self-awareness, social awareness, relationship skills, and also responsible decision making. I've tagged there the source where I get the core competencies. Don't worry about the source. I will share with you guys the link to all the sources that I've used for this session tonight. I can assure you there's a lot. So you can read through the holidays for people in Malaysia. Right. So these 5 core competencies, and then they have quadrants. Like this is SEL for myself, for self. This is a skill for other people, others. This is something for me to know, or something that can be used to manage your emotion, right? So you can use your pen and paper to draw this quadrant. I give you 30 seconds to put these 5 core competencies into these 4 quadrants. Which one do you think applies into, this is an emotional skills I need to know for myself, or it is something I need to know for others, or this is managing myself, or this is managing others. 30 seconds. All right, your 30 seconds up. All right, I want to hear from you. You don't need to put in the chat. You guys can unmute your mics and just let me know. So what falls under the first quadrant? Know for myself. Which one?
Self-management.
Self-management. Okay. What about other people? What do you think?
Decision making.
Decision making. Aisha also said decision making. The first quadrant, know and self. Okay. What about Shiba, Yati?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Okay. Yati? Right. What about the second quadrant, the know about others? So which core competencies you put there? Which one did you guys put just now? Was this second one? Others, know about others.
For others, I don't understand, like this is for ourselves, right? So how can we like judge for others, like how good they are going to do? Like I couldn't understand for that.
So you put any of the 5 core competencies here in the quadrant. So it's about knowing others. So Aisha mentioned, she put their relationship skills.
Like
in
social,
here.
yeah.
So and social awareness, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What about you, Fadli? What did you put there?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Okay. Okay, let's go to the third quadrant, manage and self. What do you guys put there?
Social awareness.
Social awareness. Okay. What about the
And-
fourth quadrant? Okay, who else? Who else want to try?
Decision making for third quadrant.
Okay, so you put decision making. What about other people? Self-management. Okay. Others and manage. Okay. I have the answers. You guys ready?
Yes, please.
All right. So in the first quadrant here, knowing about ourselves, it's self-awareness. So there are a few key skills there that listed down. I will go through and explain what those 1, 2, 3 means later. Just look at whether you map this correctly or not for now. Okay. So knowing about others is awareness of others, or in the core competency circle, it means social awareness. So know about others is social awareness in the second quadrant. Okay, let's look at the third quadrant. Manage self is self-control, or in the core competencies, it's called self-management. That is self-management. So the final quadrant, others and manage, is building relationship. In this core competencies, it means relationship skills. And where does responsible decision making goes? It actually goes throughout this 4 quadrant. It's responsible decision making. Okay.
Combination.
Yes, it's a combination of all. Because you need to be able to make decision for yourself as you are aware of yourself, and you need to make decision as you are aware of other people, and you are managing your relationship skills with others, and also managing yourself, right? You see the list, the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This comes from emotional intelligence skills of a leaders that I got from CEO World. So these are like, what are the expectation of CEOs for them to have emotional intelligence? Why I picked something from leaders and not students? Because we expect our students to be successful people in the future, right? And we expect our students to be, we hope, okay, expect is, we hope our students become leaders in the future, right? So we need to have that vision beforehand. So what does the CEO do? What does the leader do? What does the leader have? How does the leader think? How does the leader emotional intelligence comes into play? So you can imagine all of this into your students as you think about what do my students need. Of course, there needs to be differentiation in terms of age as well. You don't worry. I'm not telling you to, okay, go study about CEOs now because we're only going to study about CEO and apply that to your students. No. I also have examples of how and where social emotional learning skills can be applied and also suitable for students aged 6 to 17 years old. Okay, so SEL for students looks like this. I know it's a little bit small. I'll give you the links to step-by-step framework by World Bank. Right? If you see here, the self-awareness, self-regulation means self-management, social awareness, positive communication is relationship skills, right? And then you see here responsible decision-making, right? So you see the specific skills they have there, the self-concept, they have emotional regulation. How do you control your emotion? And then there's perspective taking. There's also frustration tolerance. What is frustration tolerance? We can all read at the World Bank resource later. There's a pro-social behavior, active listening, right? Conflict management is also there. So it's a lot of things that we can try out, and a lot of things that we can experiment when it comes to crisis management and also SEL for students, right? Okay. Let's go into breakout rooms. And I want you to do these 3 things if you can. So number 1, rank. Which of the SEL components you believe your students currently need the most? List by ranking 1 to 5. I will show you guys again what are the 5 core competencies. If you need to, you just let me know. And then you justify. So what is the reason for your ranking? Perhaps there's a story or an incident that can support your ranking, right? And if you have the time, you can also share in the breakout room, how will you customize the practice of SEL in your teaching and learning, right? How will integrating SEL in your classroom look like? Right. Remember, we are trying to prevent crisis. So think in the perspective of we are trying to instill good behaviors, instill good morals in our students first, so that they proactively knows not to get into fights, for example, right? So how will you do that? Okay. Anyone need me to show you the 5 core components again? Or you don't need? Let me know if you guys need. Or we can just go straight to breakout room. Okay, okay. And Yati, Aisha, you okay? Fadli, okay? Okay, Fadli, okay, good, good, good. All right. All right, cool, Aisha, thank you. I'll send you guys to breakout room. You have 20 minutes. Hold on. And you can discuss this 3 things if you have the time. Okay. All right. Right. All right, you're early, Yati.
Wait, the others.
Welcome back, welcome back. I hope you guys managed to talk through all the 3 points. If you cannot, maybe you guys have talked through maybe 2 of the points. So I'd love to hear some of the things that you guys talked about. Maybe 1 or 2 of you would like to share, like maybe 1 takeaway or highlight from sharing some of the others. Anyone want to share about what other people shared to you? Fadli, yeah.
We believe on common ground. So it's a decision making now. All right. So we believe on common ground that self-awareness should be the first one and should be taught in school generally for kids before they can go for other social emotional learning, perhaps like Kak Aisha also pointed out the idea of social self-management later part, okay, of the progress. And this self-awareness actually, when you are aware about others around you, then and about yourself, and you be aware of others as well. That's what we agreed on. Yeah.
I see, I see. Interesting that instead of basing it off your own experience and your own students, you guys actually discuss on a common ground on what needs to go first. And which one is more important, right? I do agree with you. In a lot of sense in the world, you need to be able to know yourself before you can actually understand other people, right? The key is to understand yourself first. At this point, I would not say which quadrant or which core competencies you want to start first is right or wrong, but it just makes sense, right? Like you say, it just makes sense to start with yourself first. It's like climbing stairs, right? You don't start with the 5th stairs and then you go back to the 3rd stairs and then you comes up to the 4th stairs. You go step by step. You go to 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, and 5 steps, like that. So yay, good for you guys that you actually discuss and come up together like how the ranking should be. So I heard number 1 was self-awareness, number 2 was self-management. What about number 3, 4, and number 3 and 4? Which one is 3 and 4?
Then we go to relationship skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed another one. And the last one is decision making, right?
Decision making falls to all of them.
To all of them.
Yeah, it's social awareness and relationship skills. So which one is number 3 and which one number 4?
I think relationship skills. Someone
Number
mentioned
4.
just now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So there are a few practices, right? And how to be more aware about yourself and how to put the focus on yourself. Yati has mentioned in the earlier part of her sessions, like before she starts her lessons, right? She remind her students, why are you here? What is the objective of you coming to school or coming to class today, right? And there are a few different ways on how to do this. And one of the things that I have tried for my own students last time when I was teaching, I realized there's less conflict and less turbulence in class when I started the class with prayers. So you have prayers for studying, right? So this is what I tell my students because they come from different religion. So okay, we start with prayers for study. For Muslim, we all recite the prayers together, and for non-Muslim, you can recite your prayers your own way on how to get like this peaceful mind. So we start the class with a peaceful mind. Other teachers will start their class with, okay, let's list 3 things that you're grateful for today. 3 simple things. And we'll start with a breathing exercise. Why breathing exercise is very, very helpful is because it brings back all the attention from the outside in. So you focus on yourself. And it's scientifically proven when you breathe out longer than you breathe in during the breathing technique, it actually increases the serotonin levels. So it makes you happier. So it will be good. That's why in when people meditate, like when people do all these peaceful exercises, there's always breathing exercises that comes into play. So you can also try breathing exercises with your students. Let's start with the breathing exercise. Always get the breathe out should always be longer than the breathe in. So that's how the serotonin level will comes up. So you have more positive emotions than negative emotions. So they can also like refocus or reset their focus at the start of the class. Hopefully this will be helpful. Of course, you have to figure out another way to for everyone to come back to their focus if that doesn't work anymore, right? So this is just a few suggestions, right? Now let's talk about classroom stories. Share your classroom stories. It could be something you tried and you want to share about what have worked and what didn't. Or perhaps this is something that is still puzzling you and you need help. So you can share with everyone here and ask away. So I'll open this to everyone in the plenary. So for about maybe 10, 12 minutes. Okay. Anyone can start first. It could be very simple what happened last week or what happened this week.
All right, can I
Yes.
go first?
Yes, go ahead,
Okay.
Bante. Thank you.
Last week, okay. Okay, let's be 2 weeks ago, we finished the exam. So it's like from three, from one, from two, from three. So they finished the exam. So 13 and 15 years old kids, they finished the exam. So last week, because after a week, so they had the whole week for themselves, actually returning textbook and everything. So what happened during the week was that there was one particular day, they started bringing their phone to schools. So the kids, okay. So here comes the problem part actually. So they've been snapping pictures in the class, recording video, uploading videos, and they uploaded actually some of the videos and did some unexpected things in school, okay, with the phones. The teachers did not know until some of the videos went viral on TikTok, and a few of the videos were shared by some kids to the teachers. Okay, so the following day, after we found out they brought the phone to school, so we decided to, tell everybody. Okay, the students were asked to be in the hall, so we did a spot check. So it turned out there were 15 mobile phones. It was not like a really thorough check like the body check and everything. It was just shouting, take out now or you will be sorry. Okay, and they were afraid, and then and one thing that I during the process, I got. Okay, when we got the phones actually, so many teachers were checking out the phone actually. We checked the boys and the girls, the phone and everything. So we checked the girl will be checking by the female teachers. So here, this is where it stopped me actually. It got me thinking. So we are actually breaching the privacy of the kid is one way. And then we know some of their secrets as well from checking their phones. And it turned out to be, okay, when I shared this idea with my friend who is in different school, and he came up with a different idea that who cares if the person is this and that, unless the person is really suicidal or want to bomb the school, or that is where we stop. So let's, this is where I'm not sure. What do you guys think? I mean, should we be checking the student phones, the phone and what they have inside the phone? And then, I mean, it got me thinking as well, that part. I mean, once we know them, and then the secret will be out there and everybody will be telling what happened to these specific kids. And some of the teachers might be looking at these kind of kids differently now because of what we knew, what they had in their phones. I have no idea about this one.
Right. I feel you, because to be honest, the teacher's lounge or the teacher's room is like it's like
Is
the
it?
Pandora box of stories.
Yeah.
Stories just travel everywhere within those four walls. No matter whose stories it is. Either it's the student stories or even the colleague stories as well, right? Like I always I feel you. So I want to open the floor for discussion to every one of you. You can just unmute your mic anytime, or now even, on how you want to respond to Fadli's question of how far should we go with checking students' phone? Should we go as far as, do you think this is like breaching the privacy of the student when we check the content of your phone? The floor is yours for you guys to discuss.
Can I just say something?
Yes. No.
Perhaps good that Fadli, you shared such story like this, but I think it's eventually happening everywhere. Nonetheless, even in primary school. So I think students have they have become more advanced. I don't know, during the pandemic, probably they became more intelligent in these cases and all this, how they should use their, the social medias and things like this. Okay, coming to this issue, perhaps to intervene and to check in such courses like this. I think I'm sure we can't do it. We as teachers, we can't check on them every time. Maybe we can educate them to a certain extent, and then like what Atika said, I think we should emphasize more on religious and social ethics, what they should. And I think it really have to be more concrete, more must be stronger, and in the sense that they have to be serious in this. So I think probably in that case, maybe we can we can find sources and all, give awareness programs and things like that. But apart from that, checking on them, I think we can't go beyond our means. Maybe we can give awareness maybe to their parents to be more how to say to be more concerned to their to things in this manner, because they, as they are back home, we have no responsibility after that. So the parents are the one who plays the role after that. So perhaps maybe we can call the PIBG, they call it the Parents Teachers Association, to allow them to know certain things in a very maybe simple way, so that some parents who are illiterate, maybe they could understand it, and maybe to just keep check on their own kids. I feel that, I think that's quite important as well, because some of the kids, especially now the youths nowadays, the youngsters, they shut themselves inside the room, and nobody knows what they are doing, you see. So I think the parents have to step in, and they have to be more serious in looking into things like, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So I like the idea that what Atika said, that it's a dependent what has opened actually. But it's like you knew the person did this. I don't know, because I wanted to meet him. I wanna ask how he's doing, but I do not know how should I, or like you said, should we go to the parents? Maybe the parents didn't know. I'm afraid I'm making a wrong steps here if I tell the parents, if I tell the other people. I'm afraid other teachers knew this as well in the staff room. Okay. Oh, okay. I have a
Maybe
bet because
maybe it's one student, probably it's one student, then you can have just a pep talk with him or her. Okay, that particular student, maybe, yeah, or the discipline teacher or someone who, or the ustaza, or whoever who can personal, just personal talk.
So can I go next? So as you said that like this is the time of technology and you can't refuse or disallow your students to use technology. In fact, we prefer that they use mobile phones, YouTube, any resources for the studies, right? Recent case was about the TikTok. You guys must know about that this was the app used by the kids especially. And one of the parents come up to me and say that my kid is watching TikToks a lot. She makes them and she doesn't bother to study and etc. So I just gave them the suggestion that just simply delete the app from your mobile phone, and this could be the very easy solution for everyone in the home. So they're like, okay, then what would I do if I delete that TikTok from my mobile phone? So that was really shocking. That then I said that what should I do of you that if you don't want to delete that app from your mobile phone? Because most of the time you're what are you doing? Maybe the reflection of what your parents have done before. So most of the time you can see that your parents 24/7 using mobile phones. They're not even talking to the kids in front of them. They're so into the technology, they are so into the social media, they're posting, they're socially creating awareness of how to use mobile phones, but they are just unaware of the kids in front of them, that what he or she is actually doing. So the best and important responsibility is over the parents, that how they should monitor the activities their kids are actually doing. Now many apps have been developed that they can keep checking on the things that what their kids are doing. But still, this is there stays a question that whether we are breaching the privacy of our kids or etc. But there is a huge difference that we are breaching or we are just checking in, right? Because when we are checking in, we are not going to say them that we are going to hold you for the accountability. We are just opening a court for you, we are suspecting you, we are doubting you. Just do things friendly as our parents do these things with us. Like if I say that these things, that for our generation we are for more like we have to make career, we have to go for this thing, we have like set of goals in front of us, and then we think of like we will go for setting up a family and things like that. But the generation which comes after us, they have things before they born. Like even a kid in a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, they have gadgets that are more fancy than us. So they have everything better than us, than we had in our lives. But the communication gap they have with their parents is more than we have. Like till now, if I ever had face anything in my life, I could have like easily go up to my parents and share things with them. But nowadays I don't think so. By providing gadgets and every single thing of a technology, you are creating a much space for your for your kids, or for your children to share their things with you. Because most of the time you say the suicidal cases, or sometimes students are very open to you than to their parents. So this is the case, this is the communication gap at the home level that creates a difficulties. And I must say that most of the time that cases comes up to me, that's all because they can't share these things to their parents. Why? Because whenever they will share things to the parents, they'll say that, oh, this is your mistake, that you are doing this, you were outside the home, not at the right time, etc. So I think so most important responsibility goes for the parents and then to the teachers. But being a parent, you have to take up the responsibility for all of these things. Yeah.
Can I share some opinion?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think that there's something that still puzzling. Fuzzy, right? Okay. I also have some experience about that. But the first thing we have to declare is we have to understand that as a teacher, we cannot control all the students. Whatever they do, whatever they look, we can't control them. But we can share them the idea. We can make an awareness about the whatever we see, whatever we observe them that something's not right. We have to make sure we have to do some program, a small program to make awareness. It is we have to understand just like I see, we cannot control all the students. When we are doing across the privacy, such as looking at the phone, that is something will be in our mind as a teacher, and we are thinking about that, but we cannot solve the problems. So we have to understand we cannot control them, but we can aware them. So we have to do some program. This is my opinion. We have to do some program, even is a small program. We have to make it is continuous, because we see the problem. So whenever the problem is across us, we have to know that we have to make sure that we have to do something, even it is small. So that's why whatever it is still whatever problem that the student that we face from the student, we have to do something to overcome our overthinking. I don't know how to declare, how to share the step, but what I have done in 14 years in teaching, the first thing is don't control people. Don't make sure, people, the student live in their own circle, such as 16 years from their family. But we face our student, the student meet us only a day or 6 hours. So we don't have to control them, but we have to aware by continuous. Just using a small steps. So I think that what can I share to Fadli. Don't overthinking. we can be stressed. So actually, when we have we actually try to avoid to see something that such as cellular phone. We have to avoid that. We have to avoid that things. So it is because we cross the privacy. But we know the problem actually. So that's all I think I can share. I don't know how to express. I don't know to share the other things that I have done to my students. I know that when we make the student think what is rational, they will make their decision what is best.
You coined it very well.
Right. That's all. Thank you.
Oh, maybe the line problem. Atika. Oh, okay.
I think I have. Oh, there is no Atika, right?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm still thinking. Because I think because of these holidays, right?
Yeah.
So we did this spot chat on Wednesday. So Thursday the kids still come. They still came last week, and then a few days off. I think he will forget. They will forget whatever they did. I think hopefully. Hi Atika, welcome back. Oh gitu, it's for easier platform actually.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the moral of the story, like we can confiscate the phones,
Mm.
keep it, don't look at those phones, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
oh, I
I
do not
think we
want
are.
to look.
Yeah. True.
Don't try to make any problem.
You know,
Yeah.
because when I look, oh my God, there's so many things. Oh my God.
Better you don't sin, isn't it?
Oh, but
Jangan
I'm
dosa.
worried. I'm worried. So, but I'm worried now because I'm worried. Are you being
Yeah.
careful in that area? I I I went and saw that this kid. I confronted him actually. You okay? You did you okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So
I
I'm
think
not sure I
maybe
ever did the right step. How it is.
maybe personal talks, right?
Mm,
Personally,
mm.
maybe we can, yeah, confront them. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Really? Macam, oh my God, you guys, ya Allah, okay, oh my God, this is not what's supposed to be. This is not my job.
Yeah, it's like it's like in our what's called subconscious mind.
Ah, It's not,
And it,
I'm not that further yet. Okay, you.
oh God, that's bad.
I love how the stories and how the conversation going around. I think I'm having a similar difficulties like Fadli in the beginning of the session. I can't seem to start my video and I got disconnected just now. But I'm glad that you guys continue on with the conversation, right? Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that out, Fadli. I really love that we highlight the fact that we are always in the balancing act, right? Are we helping or are we intruding? We always need to think about that, right? And I also wanna like summarize a few points, the few brilliant points that you guys have brought up. Yati mentioned, don't overthink, avoid trying to control everyone's life so that
Yeah.
you will not get stressed, and most importantly, do continuous awareness, which I support her so much. She mentioned continuous awareness, right? Because awareness cannot be just one time and you do like a banner, like very big banner, it costs you a lot, and then after a week or after a month you forgot about what you said, what you mentioned. And we talked a lot about remember at the beginning of this session we talked about uh, is it an intervention or is it a prevention, right? So what Yati have done in her classroom, like continuous awareness, is that falls under the prevention. She doesn't like, oh, so this happened, now I need to think what to do. Or B happened, now I think what to do, right? So continuous awareness is a prevention measure, and we can teach our students a lot, like things like cyber ethics, right? what's good for you to see, what's not good for you to see on the internet. Like self-control. Do you share things on the internet with people you don't know, or do you share things with your friends and it will get viral? What will happen to you, right? Things like this. How to regulate self-control, and also safe use of devices, and also safe use of internet. When you share about you on the internet, people can just copy that and share about you to other people. Would that be safe to you? And are you practicing safe use of the internet for yourself as well, right? Also, when we talk about awareness and we talk about control, let's think about we as adults and also as teachers. We cannot just run programs and ask students to do what we ourselves doesn't do, right? We need to think of, if we do awareness programs and we tell our kids, hey, how to do self-control, hey, how not to share things just because you think it's interesting. So teachers also need to start doing or practicing the same thing that they tell their students. Teachers need to model and walk the talk, right? Like we mentioned, how scary the teacher's room is, because it's a Pandora box of secrets, of stories and everything, right? So if we tell our students, hey, you need to safely use your devices, you need to safely use the internet, but we do not model that as a teacher, we're not showing the students how to safely use the devices or internet. And remember, Shiba mentioned about providing a safe space for students. I think in this story, Fadli, like, I understand your compassionate heart wanting to reach out to the students, right? But it is also another thing about, you need to make yourself be visible as a safe space first, and you let the students reach out to you instead of you going out to the students. I really think how to approach, it's a very delicate matter. And if you approach this student by saying, oh, I watch you on TikTok, oh, so I watch your content, for me, I don't feel safe that way if I were to be in that student's shoes. I feel like, hey, how do you know? Where do you know? I didn't share it with you, right? So some people might be like this. So it'll be good for us to think from the point of view of the people we're trying to help, or it will not be helpful at all. Like in our session, we seek first to understand and then take action, right? We don't just take action because we want to be helpful and we're not helpful at all, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing the stories, sharing ideas, giving thoughts out. I love how this is going. And this actually opens up another topic to be discussed in the future as well. Yay, my video is back. Right, cool. I think Fadli, since I got disconnected. Okay, I just want to run you through some very, very quick announcement. So today is our 9th session. We will have a final GTC session on the 11th of February, Saturday night. So for our GTC 2022, it will end on 11th February, the Saturday night. So that's the final general GTC session. Okay, so you might want to like really jot down your calendar so that you don't miss that. As usual, it'll be on Zoom, so you look out for email update for our upcoming session. Okay, let's take photo. And Shiba, maybe you can turn on your video. And are you there? Hey, okay. All right, you guys ready? Oh, Fadli is in here. I should have taken a picture while Aisha also was here. It's okay. Right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys on 11th of February. Okay. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. Bye.
We haven't got any picture yet, Atika.
Picture?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll send it. I'll send it later. Okay.
Thank you so much. So happy and so excited to see you all again.
No
And
problem.
will definitely try my best to join you in the last session.
Let me
Also.
let me just copy some of the resources that I used for tonight's session, and also some resources for the classroom you can use.
I think
Okay. I'll put it in the chat, the sample resources and also sample website. You can use also some lesson plans. Okay, let me go to the chat.
Here.
All right. Right. Oh. Look at that. Oh. There's actually a few of them. 1, 2, how each one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's 5 if I'm not mistaken. Okay, everyone got that? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. Good to see you again.
Me.
Where are you? You're at home?
Yes.
Right.